Hello, my name is Maria FAURY. I am Director of Large Research Infrastructures at CEA in France. I am involved in the governance of national and international infrastructures, and today I speak as Chair of the European XFEL Council. The purpose of my talk today is to present you a case study focused on European XFEL on how to meet stakeholders' expectations. The outline of my presentation is the following. First, I will recall what is European XFEL, then identify the stakeholders, and given the limited time, I will only focus on three main stakeholders, which are the members of the Council, the Management Board, and the user community. And then I will end with concluding remarks. So first, what is European XFEL? Well, the European XFEL is a new leading research facility located close to Hamburg in Germany that uses high-intensity X-ray light to study the structure of matter. I say it's a new facility because it has started its operation progressively as of September 2017. But better than words, let me show you a short presentation, a short video of this infrastructure.
27,000 light flashes per second, and a brilliance that is 1 billion times higher than other conventional X-ray radiation sources. The X-ray flashes are so short that they can be used to film ultra-fast processes in the microcosm. The journey of the electrons begins in a so-called particle accelerator and ends here, 3.4 kilometers away in an experiment hall the size of a football field. During this journey, the electrons in the yellow superconducting modules are accelerated at -271 degrees Celsius. After 2 kilometers, in which the energy of the electrons continues to increase, the tunnel divides step by step into 5 more tunnels.
Here are the so-called undulator systems, 200-meter-long magnetic structures in which intense light flashes with laser properties are generated with the help of electrons.
Thanks to the extremely high peak brilliance, scientists can also examine very small samples, and the large number of 20,000 flashes per second mean that the experiments can be carried out faster than with other X-ray lasers. With the help of these extremely bright flashes, thousands of images are produced which scientists can use to calculate the three-dimensional structures of molecules and particles. The research goes deep into the microcosm and the nano world. It opens up completely new dimensions and fascinating possibilities.
So let me now give you some few facts about the European XFEL. It is organized as a non-profit corporation since 2009 with the mission to design, to construct, operate, and develop the free electron laser. It is supported by 12 partner countries with this specificity, 2 major shareholders, which are the German government, covering 57% of the cost, followed by Russia with 26% of the cost. And the other international shareholders have a weight of from 1 to 3%. The total budget for construction was 1.25 billion euros at 2005 prices, and it is interesting to note that half of it was contributed in cash and half of it as in-kind contributions. As for their operating budget, it ranges about 137 million euros per year. Now, who are the stakeholders? If I take the definition, a stakeholder is a party that has an interest in the company and can either affect or be affected by the business. The primary stakeholders in a typical corporation are its investors, employees, customers, and suppliers. Now, if I take the example of European XFEL, so we will have the owners of the company through the shares, which is the 12 partner countries represented by research organizations or ministries. Then, of course, you have the user community, the customers, the European XFEL staff, the suppliers. We can take the example of Daisy, And I would also add the Hamburg area because, as you know, infrastructure always participate to the scientific ecosystem where it is located. And of course, each of these stakeholders have specific expectations. So let me now concentrate on the owners and on the governance. The European Expert Council is the supreme organ of the company. We have two delegates representing the shareholders of each contracting party. It meets at least twice a year and decides on important issues of the company and facility, such as the budget or any project of upgrade. It relies on advisory committees supporting the European XFEL GmbH and reports to the Council. We have the Administrative and Finance Committee, Scientific Advisory Committee, and Machine Advisory Committee. Now, as I said, we have two main shareholders, Germany and Russia. And so statutes are very important. And I think that the European XFEL statutes preserve shareholders' interest because small shareholders together could block any decision taken by the major shareholders, Germany and Russia, and vice versa. Germany and often also Russia are needed for any council decision. So some key ideas for success. Of course, consensus is a key word, and it's very important to set priorities. There's a word I like quite a lot is affectio societatis. It's a Latin word we use in France to design this common will of active, interested parties really committed to the success of one entity, in this case, European XFEL. And I think that this is the foundation in the creation of a corporation. For this, you need mutual trust, which results from a fair, open, and reliable communication policy. It is also important that we get the involvement of all the members of the council and also a certain stability. Involvement is important because the more active, the more committed the members are. I would also recommend a strong connection of the members with their government because they fund the infrastructure usually, and also with the scientific communities. Also, a key word is anticipation. Some issues really need time to mature to a decision. Now, the council acts like giving a positive challenge to the management. This is a constructive challenge. And for this, it requires transparency and professionalism from the management board, trust, and all this takes time, so availability too. Now, this active connection helps to find consensual solutions for sensitive issues when problems arise. During the construction phase, the operation phase, we knew at European XFEL that we would have a budget increase in the operation, going from the operation of 2 instruments up to 6. And we have set an ad hoc group with members coming from the council and from the finance committee. It took us 1 year really to scrutinize all the figures, but then we managed to find a consensus and to vote the budget increase. And then you have other many topics where you have to conciliate all the expectations. The management would like to have beam time for in-house research, whereas of course the owners want beam time delivery for the scientific community. The customers, which are the users, the scientific community. So it's very important to strengthen the connection with the users. This is done through the European XFEL users meeting, which is held annually. It is done through bilateral meetings in order to enhance the development of the partner country. It is done through town meetings in order to present the call for projects, the specificity of the equipment, and so on. And one thing I would like to stress is also the user organization of the European XFEL. It provides an organized framework for discussion between the users and the management board, in particular to give feedback to the management in order to improve the conditions for users performing experiments. And so recently we decided to invite this users organization to the SAC, the Scientific Advisory Committee, as well to the IXFIL Council as soon as meetings in presence will be made possible. As a conclusion, I would say that a good governance is key to meet stakeholders' expectations. This requires the involvement of the council members, a constructive attitude, and also this will to build decisions in a fair way. It also requires leadership of the management board, and here my key words would be professionalism, trust, and good communication towards the council, but also towards the staff to implement the decision that have been taken. And of course, the good connection with the user community, because they are the customers. And finally, I will add real interactions, because it's important that we meet again soon in presence to find consensus, to build trust. And I think that this is made much more difficult when we only have online meetings. I thank you for your attention, and I wish you a very nice session. Goodbye.